So we go through this world believing that we have to do things a certain way, right? That's our main big flaw, right? We go through this world believing that, well, the stakes are really high, and if we get something wrong, then it's fucked up. And so we have to do things a certain way. I hate to break it to you, but at the end of your life, you will die. And no matter what you do in your current life right now, you will die. The outcome doesn't change. You will still die. And we think that this life that we're living right now is so important because it's the only thing that we can remember. It's the only thing that we can be aware of right now, right? It isn't. Okay? Our life is like a little computer game. Right? It's like if you're sitting at home playing a computer game, you're playing the computer game and your head is in the game, but in actuality, there's so much around that game, and that game is just one game. And of course, you're invested in it and you want to win and everything, but it doesn't really matter if you win or lose. You just go again. It's the same for life. So I want to bring the stakes down a little bit so we can actually remember the fact that we are here. We are actually just here. And we can make choices. The main thing that's an obstacle to us believing in our freedom is just the mind constructs that we've built up ourselves. Like, we think the stakes are so high. We have to make sure that we get every single thing correctly. And that is what leads to us believing that we don't have free will. We think we can't give ourselves free will because if we get a thing wrong, then we're fucked. So we have to make sure that we do everything correctly. We don't. Best thing you can do for yourself is to give yourself free will. To allow yourself to be aware of the free will that you actually have. So in a second, you can ask yourself, do you have free will? Do I feel like I have free will? And if it's like no, then why not? Because the fact is, you do have free will. Right now, you could do all sorts of things. Like right now, you have millions of things that you could do. Millions of things that you can do. One of the best examples for your free will is just this idea of, if you wanted to, you could get up right now, stand up, and take a step forward, take a step backward, take a step to the left, to the right, walk around in circles. You could do all of that. So you have free will. And there's a million things that we tell ourselves we cannot do. We don't have free will. No, we can't. We can't. But it's just in our minds. It is just in our minds, but it applies a hell of a lot of pressure. The fact of the matter is, objectively, you have free will, right? A really good example for that as well, other than that you can walk around and stuff, is you can see other people using their free will, because there's billions of people in the same existence that we're in right now, and you can see them doing shit that you would be like, I could never do. But the fact that they can do it shows that they have free will, which shows that you have free will too. If they can, then you can do it too. If they can stand up for themselves, you can do it too. If they can express emotions, you can do it too. If they can actually really deeply care about something, you can do it too. The thing that we do to ourselves when we put ourselves into an environment where we try to act like we don't have free will, so we put ourselves under massive pressure. We say that What happens when you say to yourself, you don't have free will? You have to do this, you have to do that. In a way, you're breaking yourself. And it's something that you can believe in. Something that you can choose to believe in. You can choose to actually convince yourself to be like, I don't have free will because of those and those and those external things, which isn't true. It's objectively not true. But you can convince yourself that you don't have free will because of those external things. But when you do that, you're doing it. And it sucks. Because you know what really, really sucks? What sucks is believing that you don't have free will. That's what really, really sucks. Believing that you have to do something. That's what really, really sucks. When you're in a shitty situation, and most of us right now, we're in shitty situations, right? But if you're in a really shitty situation, what sucks on a feeling-based level is not being in a shitty situation. What sucks is believing that you don't have free will. If you're in a really shitty situation and you believe that you have free will, it doesn't matter that much because you can actually do whatever it is that you want to do to get out of that situation. But if you're in a really shitty situation and you feel like you don't have free will, you feel stuck, you feel powerless. And then the situation really matters and it all just feels like shit. But if you're in a really shitty situation and you're believing like you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do all of those things, it just feels like, do you even exist anymore? Remember, you do exist. You do have free will. Objectively, you have free will, even if you're in a situation where you believe currently that you don't. So why would you tell yourself that you have to do this? For example, you have to go to work, right? Or you have to be nice to people, or you have to get this right. You do it because you're afraid of something else. So here's how it works. It goes like this. It goes like, I have to go to work because otherwise I won't have any money. So I have to go to work because I'm afraid of not having any money. Right. Well, what happens if you don't have any money? We tell ourselves the story in our mind that what happens when we don't have any money is huge, huge. Like if you don't have any money, it'll be like the end of everything and we will be destroyed and everything will be broken and there'll be no reason to exist. Bullshit. What happens when we don't have any money is that we still have free will. And that's all we need. That's all we need. But when we convince ourselves, when we believe that we don't have free will, that we have to do things, we are afraid of things. And we convince ourselves that those things that we're afraid of, we need to be afraid of. It's worth being afraid of them because of the consequences which are non-existent. Let's go for another example. Let's go for the example of, it is sunny outside, so I have to go for a walk because otherwise I'm a bad person. Well, what happens if I'm a bad person? Nobody will approve of me. Everybody will think that I'm shitty. What happens then? Nothing. We still have free will. But in our mind, the sentence that is so crucial is this: I have to go for a walk because it's sunny. And we apply so much pressure on that because we have decided to believe that we have to do this because then otherwise other people will think that we're bad. We won't be a good person if we don't do this right now. And we no longer question that. We no longer question the because. We've decided that that is the case, that we have to do this because. Instead of looking at what actually happens right now if I just don't do whatever it is that I think that I have to do. What actually happens? I don't have any money, okay, people don't like me. And then? Nothing. That is why I teach free will. Fear can only exist when we believe that we don't have free will. Fear is the basis for us believing that we don't have free will. Because we're afraid of people disapproving of us, we're afraid of not having any money. But those fears are fundamentally illogical. They're beliefs that we've created. And we can change that by choosing to see the objective reality, which is that we have free will. We do not have to go to work. We do not have to go outside when the sun shines. And there's no thought more beautiful, more meaningful than the thought that it actually fundamentally is your choice what you do, and there's no time that we need that more than now. Literally, and I want to actually repeat this one point. It does not matter how bad the world and the situation around you gets when you know that you have free will. Because then you can act in your best interest, and you can actually use the whole power of your ability to make a difference and to change things. And even if everybody's starving around you and everything's shitty and you're starving yourself, if you're aware that you have free will and you're doing your very best until you die, it'll be a fucking epic life. And you'll look back on it being like, wow, what an adventure. But if you're in a world and it's all shitty and it's all terrible and you feel like you have to do these things, you're going to feel like you're hurting yourself, and you are, because you're not allowing yourself the free will. And what you would do if you knew that you had free will is you would automatically do what is best for you. That is why I believe it is so bullshit, all of the spirituality. Because spirituality is this idea of people telling you what the right thing, the good thing to do is. And it's bullshit, because if you knew that you had free will, you would do whatever is good for you automatically. And there's not a single person on this planet who knows what is good for you other than you. You don't know what you would do if you knew that you had free will. Because you don't. You don't believe that you have free will. But the second that you believe that you have free will, you start doing things that start to massively actually benefit you. Because you use your whole ability, all of the things that you can possibly do to make things happen, rather than just a very small amount of the things that you can allow yourself to do, to have agency in. Because for all of the things, for politics, for the whole world, if people actually knew that they had free will, they would not allow things to happen that really hurt them. And even if things happen that really, really hurt someone, if that someone has free will, they will at least feel like they can do everything in their power to make a change. And that feeling will be feeling epic for them. The biggest hurt is fear. And fear is the thing that happens. Fear is the thing that occurs while you believe that you have to do something, that you don't have free will. When you turn it around and you look at yourself, you look at the world and you're like, I exist, I have free will. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. All you're left with is love. Choose love.